off the bench. 11 from Chris Dunn and Derek Jones Jr., 13 from Norman Powell, 19 from James Harden, 7 from Amir Coffey, and 8 from Jordan Miller. 21 in this one from Jalen Green, 18 from Amen Thompson and Tari Eason, and 15 from Fred VanVleet. The Clippers just out-rebounded today, a total of 59-43. Houston Rockets, who are second in the NBA with second chance points, averaging 19 a game, they get 19 today, and that's the difference. They come away with a 111-103 victory over the Clippers. Well, we'll step aside. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. The Rockets come away with a win, their fourth in a row. These two teams will rematch on Friday. Adam Osden will take us through tonight's contest and how the Clippers can get some get back on Friday for an in-season tournament contest. We'll be back for more on your Clippers Audio Network.
Clippers lose in Houston 111-103 in game one of this two-game mini-series. Welcome into your post-game show. I'm Adam Oslin. Coming up, your post-game box score and some second-half highlights. Let's get back out to Carlo Jimenez, though, from Toyota Center in Houston. Well, Carlo, you brought it up early on. The Clippers just got destroyed on the boards, something fierce. Coach Lou was looking for more energy out there. They went with the young guys late. They made a push, but it was a little too late.
Yeah, too little, too late, Adam. They went from a 19-point deficit to a 4-point deficit in 8 minutes, but the young guys couldn't close down the stretch. I don't blame Ty Lue in this ball game, honestly. They were able to come back in this game because of that young group. You're going to keep the young guys out there, unable to close the door. I think in this contest, Adam, like you said earlier, a rare one because it felt like the Clippers got out-efforted today, which is something we really can't say about a lot of the games this season. They've been the team with more effort, with more energy, with more explosiveness. But it was Houston tonight, the first of the offensive glass, 18 offensive rebounds, 19 second chance points for the Rockets, who forced the Clippers into 12 turnovers today and scored 20 points off those 12 turnovers. So you look at those hustle stats, that is 39 combined points off second chance and off turnovers for Houston. And that's really where they won this game because the Clippers, Adam, I thought they did a pretty good job of playing defense in the half court. They were able to knock down threes today. They got to the free throw line. They moved the ball really well, but it was the rebounding and the points off turnovers that did them in.
Yeah, outworked, out hustled by a team that has a lot of young athletes out there. So Coach Lou said, I'm going to go with mine then late. And it almost worked. I still felt like obviously the storyline coming into this one was about Chris Dunn in the starting lineup, Terrence Mann coming off the bench. I felt like both guys performed well in their new roles.
Yeah, both guys really, really did, Adam. 14 points for Terrence Mann. That's a season high. 7 rebounds. That's a season high. 3 assists, 2 blocks, 2 steals. I mean, 4 stocks today for this Clipper team, blocks and steals combined. Jordan Miller, I think, was aggressive to the rim. That play where he goes right through the chest of Van Vliet, finishes with the left hand. You see this team on Friday. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Jordan Miller early. Maybe Ty Lue feels like the Kevin Porter Jr. experiment is nearing its end. I know he's played well the last 3 games, but a tough one for him today. Obviously, still, though, early in his NBA season and early after not playing the previous the previous year in total. So for the Clippers, a lot to think about here for Ty Lue. I think, this is a group that's clearly a lot deeper than we thought. Something you mentioned, Adam, that has more people available off the bench. And how does Ty Lue utilize that depth? There's a team in Golden State who's playing 12 deep right now and has lost only a couple games. Do the Clippers go that route? Do you go playing 12 deep? I don't know what the answer is, but there's multiple answers to this test.
When you're back at 500 at 6-6 now, you're searching for answers and trying to find something. But I'm interested to see how Ivica Zubac responds after this game, where it felt like he was a little bit lethargic out there at times. They weren't finding him with the basketball as well. He got it going a little bit early in that third quarter. It seemed to flip the momentum, but it was short-lived. I want to see Big Zoo with a big response on Friday.
Yeah, it felt like in a game, Adam, where he should have a big impact on this one, simply because he had been aggressive, he had been effective. The Clippers had been able to get him in motion and in rhythm underneath the iron, get him touches, but they went away from him early and never really went back to him until the start of the third, and then never went back to him again. Ivica Zubac has to be a big part of this offense. I think that's one thing that's been consistent all year, Adam, is in Clipper wins, he has been effective and just didn't get him involved enough today. The Clippers will look to ways to get him back in the action. I think, like you said, they tried to go small for small because they weren't rebounding the basketball. Maybe that's one reason why Ty Lue decided to go to the bench. I mean, they were getting out rebounded at him in this one 49-23 at one point. It finished 59-42, but at one point it was nearly a 26-point deficit on the rebounding battle. The Clippers just have to be better in that area against a Houston team, Adam, that, yes, they crash the glass, they rebound hard. They're not taller than you. I mean, Jabari Smith is 6'11", Alfred Şengün 6'11", and we saw a little bit of Jack Landell, but their guards are 6'6", 6'4", Van Vliet 6'6", Amen Thompson 6'7", Tari Eason, who had 8 made shots today, a game high, he's at 6'6". This is not a tall, lengthy team. This isn't the Oklahoma City Thunder. They just crashed the glass with more effort, and that effort was the difference in this game.
And we'll hear from Coach Lou post-game, but I'm guessing this was him sending a message to the starters, to the mainstays that, hey, you can be pulled at any time if you're not given that effort that we expect on this squad. I'm wondering if he and Jeff Van Gundy came to that decision as well. Not that he needs him to make it, but Jeff Van Gundy's all about hustle out there. He's watching the defense, and this was the first time in a while it just seemed like the Clippers' efforts seemed to wane at times so far this season, just 12 games in. Clippers lose 111-103 in Houston to the Rockets. As Carlo mentioned, they are running it back on Friday. That will be an in-season tournament game. Same tip-off time at 5. Pre-game show starting at 4. Carlo, great call. Safe travels back to the hotel. We'll talk to you on Friday.
Long bus ride back, Adam. Talk to you Friday. Emirates NBA Cup. Let's go.
Coming up next, second half action with those highlights from Carlo Jimenez. Clippers were down 19 early in that fourth quarter. They made a run with the young guys. but they came up short. They lose by 8 in Houston to the Rockets as you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers lose 111 to 103 in Houston to the Rockets. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. This is the official post-game show of your Los Angeles Clippers. Still to come here. We'll have Clippers talk for you on AM 570 LA Sports, 866-987-2570, 866-987-2570. You can also get to me at Follow Adam A. And, of course, we're live on the YouTube side at Clippers Talk. Second half action in this one as we run through the highlights here quickly. Well, the Clippers are down 61 to 56 at the half, but in that third quarter, well, it was opened up to a 10-point lead at 89 to 79 heading into the fourth, and quite frankly, the Clippers weren't even competing on the boards. So Coach Lue pulled the trigger and went with some of the young guys out there, including Jordan Miller, as they made a run late.
Norman Powell with Jordan Miller in front of him, bounces it to Miller, lays it up, it's hacked and finishes over the top of Amen Thompson. Here comes Jordan Miller, muscles right to the rim through Van Vliet and finishes with a left hand. Jordan Miller spins and finds man, drives, crosses over, back to Miller, left wing three, bullseye, 8-point game.
Jordan Miller gave them a lift, as did Terrence Mann late. Kobe Brown was in there. It was Amir Coffey as well. Even Bones Highland, but the Clippers just didn't have enough to close the deal in Houston, and they were down by as many as 19 early in that fourth quarter. Clippers end up falling 111 to 103 in Houston to the Rockets in this first of two. It's a two-game mini-series, including an in-season tournament game, the Emirates Cup, on Friday. More Clippers post-game next here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers lose in Houston, 111 to 103 to the Rockets. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Oslin. This is the official post-game show of your Los Angeles Clippers. It's Clippers Locker Room coming up on AM 570 LA Sports. We'll have Clippers talk for you. 866-987-2570. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. So, final box score here. The Clippers just got decimated on the glass. Clippers had 43 boards. Houston had 59. Trust me, it wasn't even that close. Houston had 18 offensive rebounds. At one point, it was 49 to 23, the rebounding battle in favor of the Houston Rockets. So Coach Lue said, enough. If we're going to have big guys out there and still not rebound, I might as well go small and try to get this game closer and lean into juicing up the offense. Well, they had it down to a 4-point game late, but Houston would make some big buckets. They prevail 111 to 103 and send the Clippers back to 500 on the season. And maybe back to the drawing board in some ways with some of the rotations we saw in this one. Of course, Chris Dunn starting over Terrence Mann. No surprise there. Terrence Mann was struggling. I talked about it yesterday on Clippers Talk. Wouldn't be shocked if that move happened. It did. And then you saw Jordan Miller get into the ball game. Then Kobe Brown, Bones Highland. Interested to see what happens next. We'll hear from Coach Lue post-game. Next ball game for the Clippers. They're staying in Houston. It's an in-season tournament game, the Emirates Cup. First game for them, Friday. Tip-off at 5 against the Rockets. We'll have your pregame show back here at 4 outside of Los Angeles. We are leaving you until then. But up next, here on AM 570 LA Sports and on the YouTube side, we got Clippers Talk. Clippers news happens. Let me guess. It's about Kawhi. Here we are. And now here he is, the host of your LA Clippers pre and post game. Follow Adam A. Houston gives the Clippers all sorts of problems in the rebounding department as the Clippers lose 111 to 103 to the Rockets in Houston, where they will stay. till another game on Friday. Welcome into Clippers Talk. I'm Adam Osland. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. 866-987-2570. You can also be watching us on the YouTube live side at Clippers Talk, where just a lot of people are overreacting to everything after this game. Clippers are back at 6-6. What have I been telling you? Around 500 is where they probably should be without Kawhi Leonard. That's the level this team is likely going to be playing at. Somebody told me earlier today, if we're being honest, they should beat Houston. And I was like, why? The Rockets are 7-4. They have a top 3 defense. They're younger. They're more talented on paper. And they're one of the best rebounding teams, especially on the offensive glass, where they just had 18 offensive rebounds. The Clippers at one point, as Carlo Jimenez pointed out, were down 49-23 in the rebounding department. 49-23. They were more than doubling up the Clippers on the boards. So I think Coach Lue had enough and said, if our bigs aren't even going to rebound, then I'll just go small. Then I'll just try to lean in to offense because we're not getting rebounds anyways. And they weren't. It was not a good game from Ivica Zubac. It was not a good game from his teammates trying to get Ivica Zubac involved. He had 2 shots in the first half. There was a moment in the third quarter where there was a little 6-0 run. Big Zoo was a part of that. After having make it 3 shots in the first half, Ivica Zubac had 4 shots midway through the third quarter. They were actually getting him going. And the Clippers were right there. Problem was bad ends the quarter. And that was a theme in this one. You can go back to the first quarter, guys. First quarter. Clippers score 25 points in the first 7 minutes, and they scored 3 in the last 5, basically, of the first quarter. It was 25-14. Clippers were hitting everything from distance. They started 8 of 10 from 3. Of course, so did Houston. They were knocking down everything. But the Clippers had an 11-point lead early. But they scored just 3 points the last 4 minutes and 46 seconds of the first quarter. Offense stalled out. Some bad shots. Kevin Porter Jr. took one. James Harden. Amir Coffey missed a 3. They thought they could stay hot from 3. It didn't last. No, it did not. Now, they still overall didn't shoot a horrible percentage. League average, 36%. Almost 37% from 3. But they started 8 for 10. So the rest of the way here, they were, 6 for 28? Yeah, that's tough. After starting 8 for 10 from 3. The Houston Rockets, they had one of their better 3-point shooting games. After I told you in the preview of how they've been so bad from 3 and you have to keep them there, and that's my key to the ball game, they went 15 of 40. That's 38% from 3 on high volume. A little bit problematic. And they matched the Clippers pretty much in that first quarter. Jalen Green got hot. They were 6 of 9. Clippers started 7 for 10, not 8 for 10. Houston was 6 for 9 from 3. So they're tied up at 28 heading into the second. Clippers early second quarter started to assert themselves a little bit as Terrence Mann is now with the backups and looked much more comfortable. What did I tell you yesterday on Clippers Talk? I tried to tell you, yeah, it's probably time. I would not be shocked if Terrence Mann got replaced. And the guy who I pointed out could be the Patrick Beverley next to James Harden, just like he had in Houston, that would be Chris Dunn. Chris Dunn played really well. Was thriving. So did Terrence Mann off the bench. Terrence Mann looked like Terrence Mann again. Much more comfortable in his own skin coming off the bench. Ball in his hands more, getting into transition. The defense was on point. He was out there with the young guys as they made that run late. They did all they could. They tried to get back into a game, down 19. Now, the group that was out there on the floor, and I should still go back to the end of the third quarter because I'm talking about not ending quarters, right? So why don't I go back to the second even? Because I didn't like the effort there from the Clippers either. It was frustrating. James Harden would miss a 3 at the end of the second quarter, but the Clippers weren't doing a lot of scoring. Late at the end of the first half, they were struggling. They had, I want to say, I think 9 points in the last 7 minutes or so. It was tough. They still had 28, though, in the quarter. So it's really the third that I'm looking at where Houston got the jump on the Clippers, and the Clippers really never recovered. Into that third quarter, they led by 10, the Houston Rockets. After the Clippers, I thought were starting to get Big Zoo back into the ball game. It's 76-71 after back-to-back buckets from him. Then it's 76-73. This was right after Houston had gone up by 11. About midway through that third quarter, Clippers had it to within 3. They had it to within 2. After James Harden would go 1 of 2 at the charity stripe, it's 76-74. But the rest of that quarter, well, let's see. The Clippers got outscored 13-5. 13-5 run to end that quarter after Harden had it at 76-74 at the 4:31 mark. Didn't close it out well enough. And Tari Eason went on his own 8-2 run in the last 3 minutes of the third quarter. So the Clippers are down 10 at 89-79 heading into the fourth. And Coach Lue just said enough. If we're going to get destroyed on the boards like this, and coming out of the third quarter, let's see what we got here. It was a 45-27 rebounding advantage for the Rockets and 15-4 on the offensive rebounds. You're telling me if you're getting out rebounded 45-27 by 18, that Coach Lue doesn't have it within his rights to just say, well, I guess we'll just play small then, because even when we play bigs, we can't rebound in this game. So to start the fourth quarter, in comes Jordan Miller, Chris Dunn, Terrence Mann, Norman Powell, Amir Coffey. 9-0 run by the Houston Rockets. So Coach Lue goes deeper into his bag. Bring out Kobe Brown. Bring out Bones Highland. Jordan Miller had an and one to stop the 9-0 run early in the fourth quarter, but then a turnover. It was kind of up and down, but he definitely had some good moments. He absolutely bodied Fred VanVleet for a layup. Just went right through him. Kobe Brown got into the ball game, had an offensive rebound and a nice putback. Went through Şengün on a play. The young guys were playing hard. Jordan Miller hits a 3. And guess what? It's an 8-point game. First, Terrence Mann hit one to bring it to within 11 after it was up to 19. Then Jordan Miller hits a 3. It's an 8-point game. Clippers are in this. And those are the guys that got him back in it. So Coach Lue rode with him down the stretch. Now Kobe would airball. Dylan the villain would have a 3-pointer to put it back to 11, but Bones would counter with a 3 of his own. Mann had a tip-in in transition after a great wraparound pass to Jordan Miller, who missed the layup, and Terrence Mann put it back in. Mann gets another one. Then he has the strip on Jalen Green. They said it was out on the Clippers. It was out on Green. Clippers ball. Bones gets fouled, goes to the free throw line, hits both. It is a 4-point game. It was 19 early in the fourth. The young guys got him back in it. And Terrence Mann, who's 28 now. Can't really say he's that young. At the 142 mark, it's 107 to 103. A 4-point game. After the Clippers were down big. I'm proud of the young guys and the effort they gave, and I think that's what Coach Lue was looking for. And I think he was sending a message to the starters. Because, guys, I'm here to tell you, this was the first time I would say this season that the Clippers were getting outworked at times. We're not used to seeing that. Houston is young, athletic, hungry. Ime Udoka is a great coach. They're going to play hard. They're best in the league when it comes to opponents' points in the paint. They don't let you get in there. They're best in the league when it comes to opponents in transition. You don't get a lot of transition points against them. They're a top 3 defense. They hadn't been good on offense. Tonight, they finally got loose from 3 after shooting 38% on 40 attempts. That's 15 makes. That kills you. But the rebounding, where they were, I think, second in offensive rebounding coming into this game percentage, they just dismantled the Clippers there. Unfortunately, after the Clippers got a stop, down 4 at the 142 mark, Jordan Miller missed a three-pointer. Alfred Şengün had a dunk. Then he blocked Jordan Miller, driving to the hoop. Timeout, 109-103. Terrence Mann had a turnover, but on the inbounds pass to Jordan Miller, Thompson just took it away. But then the Clippers got an 8-second violation. The young guys did that. It's 109-103. But unfortunately, there would be another bucket from, I believe, Eason, who was the story of the game. He made it 111-103. That's your final. Too little, too late. I admire Coach Lue for shaking up the lineup and saying, look, if our starters aren't good enough, if they're not playing hard enough, it's one thing not to execute. It's another not to have that effort out there. Then we're making changes. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back. We'll get to your phone calls. 866-987-2570. 866-987-2570. Clippers lose 111-103 in Houston to the Rockets, where they remain. They'll run it back in-season tournament game against them on Friday. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to Clippers Talk here on AM 570 LA Sports. Clippers lose 111 to 103 in Houston to the Rockets. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Moslin. This is Clippers Talk here on AM 570 LA Sports. And on the YouTube side, people in the chat like Mike saying, I think Ty Lue overreacted by giving up to start the fourth. I don't think he gave up. I think you're missing the point. Ty Lue said, we're not getting rebounds with our starters and our bigs like Ivica Zubac right now. So forget it. Let's give other guys a shot who are going to give effort out there. And what happened? They got it down to 4 late. Like, that's what that was. We can't rebound even with our big men, so we might as well lean into offense. Mike, how do you not understand that strategy? I don't get it. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network at AM 570 LA Sports. Guys, I don't think Coach Lue was giving up on the game. I think he was trying to win the game and get a spark with guys who would actually go out there and play with effort because they were getting shellacked on the boards. Do you know how bad being out-rebounded 49 to 23 is? That's what it was at one point in the third quarter. The Clippers' effort was not good. Coach Lue was searching for energy, guys who wanted to play hard, and sending a message to the guys who weren't. That's my read on it. That's exactly what I think that was from Coach Lue. They were still trying to win, but a lot of the key rotation pieces, a lot of the starters, they weren't playing great. I think that has to be pointed out here. Coach Lue did point out post-game that starting lineup change is a permanent one, not a one-off. Said the athleticism from the Rockets was a real problem. Wanted to give Jordan Miller, Kobe Brown, and Bones Highland opportunities to match that, which they were. He wasn't giving up on the game. He was trying to match their athleticism. He also was happy about Terrence Mann's performance and how him and the second unit got him back on track. That was a different Terrence Mann out there throughout the entire game. That's the best game he's played all season. 3 early in the second, another one late. The lob from Dunn in the second quarter, going downhill, getting to the hoop, getting fouled in the second, the steal and the lob to Amir from Terrence Mann. That's it right there. No, Mike, he didn't give up on the starters. The starters didn't perform. If you don't perform, this is what happens. If you don't play well, this is what happens. And against a super athletic team like the Houston Rockets, wouldn't it make sense to get athleticism out there? You are matching athleticism with Bones Highland, Himothy. Do you not see the burst he plays with? Like, there is logic to what he did, and you guys who just want to look for anything to jump on Coach Lue with, you think this is blood in the water. But the truth is it almost won him the game. And if it did, what would you all be saying right now? What if he just went to those guys earlier? T-Man wasn't just striving in transition. Terrence Mann, he took 3 3-pointers. He had 14, 8, 3 assists, 2 blocks. His defense was incredible. It's the best he has played. He looked comfortable. He was free again. Let's go to Mike in LA. Mike, you're on Clippers Talk with Adam Moslin. What's up, Mike?
Well, I didn't get a chance to see the game tonight, but just, looking at the box scores online and you're trying to read about it some, I agree with what you're saying, that, going with the guys who haven't played much this year, going with the younger guys was absolutely the right move. I wish he would have done it sooner. They got back in the game. They played with energy. They played hard. And you're right that this is really the first, this was the first game this year where, we really just got worked on the boards. Whew.
Yeah, they got destroyed. And people are overreacting to that and saying, like, we need a power forward now. We need more size. It's like, it's one game against one of the best rebounding teams in the league. That's their strength, offensive rebounding for the Houston Rockets. Like, I don't know what people were expecting coming into this one. I tried to lay it out in the preview, but I just, it's
I
amazing to
mean,
me. The same people saying, MKXLNT points this out. People were crying to play Jordan Miller, but then when he plays them, now they're crying and saying Coach Lue gave up on the starters. Like, it's ridiculous. He played guys that brought energy and played hard down the stretch, and it almost won the game.
I agree. I mean, and I think you're also right. Is that Houston on paper is better than the Clippers, especially. I mean, without Kawhi, I mean, it's not necessarily even that close. I mean, they have a lot of good players on that team.
Yeah. You know who else had a bad game? His first bad game of the season back with the Clippers, Nico Batum. He was a minus 22 out there in 14 minutes. He missed a lot of good looks from three when the Clippers were searching to try to get somebody that could get them a bucket. He had some good looks. You don't often ever see him a negative in the box score or just say, Nico Batum actually had a bad game tonight. It just doesn't happen. So a recipe for disaster, I guess, if even Nico's having a bad game.
Yeah, Nico, and without a Superman performance by Norm. I mean,
yeah. This was the first time, in the last 10 games that Norman Powell hasn't had 20 points or more. He had 13. He was 5 of 18.
I mean, it's going to happen at some point, and the fact that they were able to get back in and make this competitive with the younger guys is somewhat encouraging.
Yeah.
As much as obviously we don't like the loss, but you try to take what you can get.
I agree with you, Mike. It's called analysis. Like, we're trying to figure out exactly why they lost, who played well, who didn't, and what they can change in a future game, like the one coming up Friday against this very team in Houston. Mike, appreciate the phone call. Give me a call back on Friday. Quick time out here. More Clippers talk coming up next. 866-987-2570. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. I'm Adam Osland. You can also get to me at Clippers Talk on the YouTube side. It's just amazing how one game, after how good the Clippers have been rebounding-wise, everybody goes right back to, well, they need more size, a 4. Now, I can't give you a name that's realistic that they can get at them, but they just need it. I'm looking for actual solutions. And to overreact because they lost the board battle badly to a team that's great at it, and the Clippers' effort just wasn't good tonight, what do you think was going to happen? You don't play hard enough against a team like the Houston Rockets, with their athleticism, young legs, and rebounding ability. Yeah, that's what happens. I give Coach Lue a ton of credit for trying the young guys late, and they almost pulled through. Yeah. They almost got a victory. Is it good enough? No. Could it be something they could still build off of by trying young guys that might get into the rotation now? Yes. More Clippers talk next here on AM 570 LA Sports. A lot of criticism on Coach Lue tonight. Not a lot of solutions I'm seeing in the chat. Welcome back in. This is Clippers Talk here on AM 570 LA Sports and on the YouTube live side at Clippers Talk. So what's the solution? Because now all of a sudden everybody's going back to, well, they need a power forward. They need a big man. One game where they get trounced on the boards. And you guys can't even offer a solution to this. That's what amazes me. That's what's funny to me. Well, I need a power forward. Well, who? Who are the guys that are just begging to get out of their situation and a team willing to let them go for not much? Not much. If you guys say, okay, play Kobe Brown more, great. You play him at power forward and he can't shoot, though, you're clogging up the paint massively and it's killing your spacing. So you understand they can't just get any power forward. They need someone who can rebound and guard and stretch the floor. John Collins' name gets brought up every single time we do this. I guess that's an answer. Who the Clippers giving up for John Collins that the Utah Jazz are actually taking? One answer offers another question back coming at you. I just don't understand how after one game against a very good rebounding team, especially in the offensive boards, and you guys pull the ripcord and say, we got to blow it up, new team. Now we got somebody saying Batum is too old. He has one bad game, and now it's Batum is too old. Like, literally, Batum has not had a bad game so far this season until tonight. I don't know. I don't know what people want sometimes. I think they just want to complain because the Clippers are 6-6, which is probably overachieving still. They're 6-6 without Kawhi. Meanwhile, what's Philly? What are the Philadelphia 76ers? I mean, how many other teams could you look at? They're now 2-9. And they've had Paul George back for a few games. Like, I don't know what to do with some of these comments. I'm scratching my head. I had to make this account said, stop saying we need size if there's not realistic options. Thank you. Thank you. It's brutal. It's brutal that the Clippers, yes, lost this game, got destroyed on the boards the way they did, but then you can't overreact, guys. You just can't. You got to be able to put things in perspective just a little bit. The Knicks are 5-6. It's early in the season. The Clippers obviously are still making moves. They just made one in this game. You just saw it. This is a great move. Terrence Mann to the bench, loosened him up, maybe not as much pressure, whatever it was, it worked. It was his best game of the season. And Chris Dunn was great with the starters. Nothing wrong there. Chris Dunn had 11, 8 assists, 1 turnover, 5 of 10 shooting. He was awesome with the starters. I brought it up yesterday. I thought it could be coming. It happened. He had a 3 early, a floater from 16 feet out. A floater when they went ice cold for about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I want to say at layup in the third. He had a tough layup going around the defender. It's just, Houston's a good ball club. I don't know if you guys knew this. They were 7-4 heading into this game. They're 8-4 now. I know you're coming from a perspective of the Clippers are supposed to win every game. They're 6-6, and considering the talent disadvantage they often are at without Kawhi, it's hard to overcome that. Kawhi cures a lot of what ails them, guys. Simply does. When you don't have your best player, it's tough to win ball games. They're 6-6. I think Coach Lue has done a pretty damn good job. Now people are saying, you want John Collins on that contract? So some people want him. Some people are pointing to the contract. The same guy, Alfie, in here, who said they have to get a 4, but he can't offer a solution or a guy that's reasonable and realistic that they could get. It's just, come on, guys. There aren't many teams that are flawless in this league. The Clippers have some flaws too. Namely, they're still missing Kawhi. I want to get more from Bob Murray on that because I know he talked about Coach Lue with it pregame. And I will try to send this to our producer, Katie Newton, in real time here. Because we had Bob Murray on pregame as well. This was at the podium with Coach Lue beforehand, where he got the update about the change to the starting rotation from Coach Lue pregame. Bob Murray breaking all sorts of news for The Athletic. But then he also got this update from Coach Lue. And this was about Kawhi Leonard. And it's the most we've gotten in some time here. Katie, I think I sent that to you. Or did I just send that to myself? I did. I'm so used to sending files to myself, guys, to where then I'll download it, then put it up on the TikTok at Clippers Talk or on the Instagram at Clippers Talk. Follow Adam A. So I forwarded it to you after I sent it to myself here, Katie. It's just now somebody's saying John Collins is soft. So do we want John Collins or not, guys? Clipper Nation can't agree on this one. I had to make this account, said John Collins is a lateral move at best. Probably wouldn't start if Y comes back. No, he wouldn't. So it looks like there's no easy solution. The easiest solution is get Kawhi back. Unfortunately, we don't know when that's going to happen. Here was Bob Murray pregame speaking with Coach Lue about it.
Where are things at with Kawhi? Like we're in fourth week of the season. Mo's progressing. That's good. Where is Kawhi at?
He's progressing. He's going to be out for this next week. Is all I can say.
What's in terms of where he's thinking, how he's feeling? Like, how would you describe like the next thing that is kind of on his mind as far as the next step?
Talk to him about his mind. I don't really know what he's thinking.
Yeah.
I know he's putting in the work, every day to try to get back as fast as he can. But eventually what he's thinking, I really don't know. But he's doing all the right things. He's taking all the necessary steps to try to get back on the floor. I do know that part.
Like, do you feel like there's a chance this month that you could see him even return to practice?
I'm not sure yet.
So, not sure if he will return to practice this month. What have I been saying recently? Just let me know when he's practicing. Like, if he's not practicing, he's not playing yet. That's how it works. Harold in North Hollywood. Harold, you're on Clippers Talk with Adam Osland. Hi, Harold.
Hey, how you doing, Adam?
I'm good, Harold. How you been?
I'm good. Thank you. Why did Kawhi even go to the Olympic Games? I could not figure that out.
Healthy,
just like Embiid.
He felt healthy at that time. Now he's not.
That's now. I like to be a little critical. That's baloney. He was healthy, and they sent him home, so his knee was not responding, and he hasn't played.
Was he healthy or wasn't he healthy?
Go ahead, Adam.
No, are you saying he was healthy or wasn't healthy?
At the Olympic Games, he was not healthy.
Well, I guess he tried to give it a go. They felt like he wasn't there yet. Kolu said there was a setback shortly after the Olympics. Team USA might have just been like, we can't wait to see if he's going to end up being healthy enough to play throughout this entire stint. And that could have been why they sent him home. Who knows?
Well, you know what? Coach Lue is a great coach. You can put Red Auerbach in there. This, unfortunately, Adam, this team can't win. I don't even know if they can win if and when he ever does get back in the lineup. Kawhi, this is like an anchor around this organization. I hate to say it. Kawhi is a great player, but he's not a great player if he's sitting on the bench.
Well, what is he supposed to do? Scream at his need to be healthy? What can he do other than do all the training and work he can to get healthy? What do you want?
Oh no, I agree with you. But Ballmer's stuck with him. I think it's more than just his knee. And you know he has a bad knee. That's why they got rid of him in San Antonio. Pop knew what he was doing. Pop is much better. I know he had a mild stroke. I think the guy's a head case. And if he's sitting on the bench, not helping the team, how do you think the other players feel when the kind of money he's getting? He's not helping. Not doing anything.
I think the other players understand what it's like to be hurt, and it sucks, and they can sympathize with that. Unlike some fans, I think players get it. They know Kawhi wants to be out there. Let me put it this way: you don't train as hard as Kawhi Leonard does. Do all the training he does to get to this point. You remember when he first came out of San Diego State, he was not an offensive player hardly at all. He developed all of this game through the hard work. The hard work is the tough part. That's the grind. That's the job of it. The fun part is actually being able to play in games. If he could play in games, he absolutely would. He has put in the hard work side. So I don't know what you mean exactly by head case. I don't think anybody's saying that.
Look, real quick, Adam. I like Kawhi. I think he's okay. I mean, he's quiet. He's introverted. He gets out there and he plays when he can, and he's probably a good guy. But there's a time when you get to say, hey, am I out for the season, or I'm coming back, or is it next week or next month? The fans want to know this,
Well,
too.
here's the problem.
They want to see him.
He can't know when because it depends on how his knee responds. He's not going to know until he goes through the train to see how his knee feels, right? How can he predict?
Well, how does his knee feel right now? What's the latest?
Well, we just heard from Coach Lou about that. I appreciate the phone call, Harold. He's preparing. He's doing everything, but Coach Lou does not know if he will return to practice this month. He is progressing. Until he's practicing, there's not much to talk about, honestly. When he's practicing and the swelling's not recurring, then you're in a better spot. That's when I'll start to feel hopeful that Kawhi Leonard is returning. I know it's frustrating. I think it's frustrating first and foremost for Kawhi, one of the greatest players ever, that isn't able to go right now. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back. We'll get back to your phone calls, 866-987-2570, 866-987-2570. We'll talk about what we saw. Will we see more young guys coming up on Friday? I think Coach Lou sent the message, and I think it will be received by the vets. No rebounds, no rings. I mean, you can't even win a regular season game if you don't rebound at all and get destroyed to that level by the Houston Rockets. So a lot of that was effort, and we haven't seen that slippage in that area until tonight. More Clippers talk next here on AM 570 LA Sports. Clippers lose to a team that has more than just implications in the standings because OKC has a pick swap with either the Clippers or the Houston Rockets after this season. They're going to take whoever has the best pick available. Houston's is top 10 protected. The Clippers is not. It's a big loss, but they got them again on Friday. It's the Emirates Cup, the first in-season tournament game for the Clippers. Let's go to BJ. BJ, you're on Clippers Talk with Adam Oslin. It's BJ from San Diego. What's up?
What's up, Adam? What's good with you, brother? How you doing?
The struggle is real.
Very real.
This isn't BJ the podcaster, is it?
Yeah, I thought you recognized my voice, bro.
Do you want to do a promo for the show we're doing in a little bit here?
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it.
All right. BJ from the Pull Up Podcast is coming on with me for a little Clippers Talk after dark. And let's say 20 minutes after I'm done here, and I'm done here in about 8 minutes. So, BJ, does that work for you?
Yes, sir.
We got a lot to get into. Anything else you want to tease out?
No, man, I'm gonna let somebody else go up. Well, I'll see you in 20 minutes.
Sounds good, my friend. Let's go to Bill in the ether. Bill, what's up? You're on Clippers Talk.
Hi, Adam.
Hi, Bill.
I really enjoy your commentary on Rogan, Rodney and Rogan.
Oh, appreciate it. They're nice to have me on, so I appreciate those guys too.
And also, why doesn't Kawhi Leonard just retire?
Because he wants to play basketball, and he's one of the greatest players ever, and I think he has the right to want to come back. He inspires others by continuing to fight through these injuries. That has been something he has talked about.
But, as a Clippers fan, he's like, I don't know, man. Why don't you just retire? I mean, okay,
Bill,
excuse me.
I feel like it's kind of a bad look to tell players when they should retire. Don't you think it's up to the player when they should determine that for themselves?
Yeah, but he's always injured every year.
But he just played 68 games last season, Bill. He just played 68 games, and he played at such a high level. So you think he's just going to give up because there's another setback with his knee? He's not giving up. He's going to do everything he can to get out there on the court.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Yes.
There's
Lloyd Christopher, I'm telling you, there's a chance. Like 1 in a million. No, I'm not saying it's 1 in a million. I really think Kawhi, I think part of this is also they're being overly cautious because they know he hasn't been able to finish seasons off. So he hasn't been able to finish off a playoff run since 2020. So they have a plan they're going through here, but it still comes down to how his knee responds with the treatment plan, with the conditioning they're doing. Bill, I appreciate the phone call. Ross in the OC. Ross, what's up? You're on Clippers Talk with Adam Oslin.
Hey, Adam. Good to talk to you.
What's up, Ross? Good to talk to you, too.
Two things. One, patience. We're only 12 games into this season. Kawhi probably won't be back till sometime in December or January. But the other thing is Oklahoma has 18 full roster spots, almost all first-round draft picks and a couple seconds, and they have 5 first rounds and a second this year. They are not going to be able to accommodate all those players. They may be a place to look, not to trade with, but they're going to have to release a lot of players this upcoming year.
Yeah, or consolidate picks, to move up in the draft, defer picks for a later time, like they have with the Clippers this year in a pick swap situation. It's a good point, Ross, but I don't know if OKC is giving any picks back to the Clippers anytime soon. And what would you give up for those picks? What's the trade?
Oh, I wouldn't trade for any of them. They're going to have to release players. So one thing that
they ain't releasing any good players. Trust me on that.
They've released 2. 2 first-round picks already. But Lawrence Frank is a master of finding talent of released players.
Yeah, they're trying. Like, obviously, they're taking a risk with Kevin Porter Jr., bringing him in because of the off-the-court issues. Was a year out of basketball, and he didn't play much in this game. They have had some reclamation projects. Kai Jones. They are trying to find some diamonds in the rough here, or some fallen angels, as Lawrence Frank has said.
That's what I'm talking about. And what are your feelings on the KCP experiment? Did Jordan Miller or Kobe Brown play well enough to earn minutes, or is it still, KPJ till boom or bust?
I am a little bit surprised how little Kevin Porter Jr. played. He took some bad shots. He didn't look great. He hasn't looked great. He's been up and down at best in these 12 games so far, but 6 minutes is a little bit surprising. I think any time that there's a lack of effort or enough miscues where it looks like there's an execution problem out there, Coach Lue is going to go deep into his bench and say, I'm going with the guys who are at least going to play hard for me. And I think that's what we saw at the end of this game.
Yep.
And I love that mentality, Ross. I do, because there are guys who are hungry, who wanted the opportunity. And I felt like Kobe Brown and Jordan Miller both acquitted themselves well in this ballgame.
Me too. They both looked really good.
So we'll see if they can build off of it in a game back in Houston on Friday, and we'll see what the rotations are going to be with Coach Lue. This is very interesting. It feels like everything's back on the table now. So, Ross, I appreciate the phone call, my friend. Maybe we'll do it again Friday night, okay?
All right. See you later tonight. Hope you do late night tonight.
Ross, I will be on there. Clippers Talk After Dark. We'll leave that with BJ from the Pull Up Podcast. Can we hear from Coach Lue post game before we get out of here, Katie? All right, here he was speaking with Law Murray of The Athletic.
In 12 games, what did you see that made you want to go with that line to start, and what did you see with this game?
Got to a good start. I mean, for me, it was just trying to get another ball on the floor with James. He was trying to pressure him like Brooks, like Dort, like guys are trying to do. And so I thought about getting KD on the floor, a true point guard. I thought would help. And like I said, we got to a good start. We can kind of see the difference just with James being off the ball, and then we had to catch him a live dribble a little better. So that was my thought process going into it. And then we went to the bench. Their bench came in. I thought they were physical. I thought they got out of transition. I thought they rebounded basketball. And Thompson just came in, so we just changed the game for them.
Yeah, him and Tari Eason both had the double-doubles off the bench. He may have said before the game he wanted to play faster. That didn't really happen with the starting group. It did happen with the second group. Like, how can you got to see these guys again? Like, how can you combat that athleticism, not just in the transition game and fast break, but on the glass as well? Because they had a 17-0 second chance point advantage going into that fourth quarter.
Yeah, I think some of our shot selection, we got into the paint, like they were being at the rim, and we kind of threw some shots up, missed the layups, and when we missed, they was out of transition, and we couldn't get back to get matched up. And we did a good job tonight for our turnovers, but then then they ended up having 18 offensive rebounds. So just like I said, they had a good game plan. They played well. I thought our young guys came in down the stretch to really played well, so that was good to see. But we'll be better come whatever today is. I don't even know what it is, but we'll be better in 2 days. So my guys got to see the blueprint, how they try to play us, and what they were trying to do.
There was Coach Lue post game saying they will be better in 2 days. We're interested to see that. Clippers score just 103 points in this game after a hot start, up by 11 in the first quarter, tied by the end of the first quarter. Houston made another run, a 17-2 run from the end of the third into the fourth. Coach Lue tried to find some guys that were going to spark them. He did. They just came up short late. Young guys got it to within 4. They lose 111-103 in Houston. They run it back in an in-season tournament matchup, the Emirates Cup, on Friday. Tip-off at 5, pregame at 4. Before we get out of here, I do want to thank the Clippers organization, Ralph Lawler, Brian Seaman, Noah Eagle, Carlo Jimenez on the call, Big Brother Jake Warner, head engineer at Into a Dome, Katie Newton, Killer Katie on the board in this one. The callers, the listeners, those in the chat, even if the ideas weren't always that salient. Yeah, Clippers Talk After Dark coming up in about 20 minutes with BJ from the Pull Up Podcast. I'm Adam Oslin. We will talk to you then.